The room, interim. The room is full of you as I come in and close the door behind me. All at once, a something in the air, intangible, yet stiff with meaning, struck my senses sick, sharp, unfamiliar odors that destroyed each other room's dear personality, the heavy scent of damp funeral flowers, the very essence, hushed, distilled of death, has strangled the habitual breath of home, whose expiration waves all houses dead, and wheresoever I look is hideous change, save here. Here is as if a weed-choked gate had opened up my touch, and I had stepped into some long enchanted, strange, sweet garden of 1,000 years ago, and thought suddenly, I have been here before. You are not here. I know that you are gone and will not enter here again. And yet it seems to me as if I should speak, your silent step must wake across the hall. If I should turn my head, then your sweet eyes would kiss me from the door. So short a time could teach my life its transposition to this difficult and unaccustomed key. The room is as you left it, your last touch, a thoughtless pressure, knowing that itself faintly hallows each simple thing, hallows and glorifies and glows between the dust-scraped fingers like a shielded light. There is your book just as you laid it down, face to the table. I cannot believe that you are gone. Just then it seemed to me you must be here. I almost laughed to think how like reality the dream had been. Yet knew before I laughed, and so was still that book outspread just as you laid it down. Perhaps you thought, I wonder what comes next, and whether this or this will be the end. So rose and left it, thinking to return perhaps. The chair, when you arose and passed out of the room, rocked silently a while, there until it again was still, when you were gone forever from the room. Perhaps that chair, disturbed by your movement, rocked a little while, silently to and fro. And here were the last words your fingers wrote, scrawled in broad characters across a page. In this brown book I gave you, here, your hand guiding your rapid pen moved up and down. Here, with a looping knot, you crossed a T. And here, another like it just beyond. These two eccentric E's. You were so small and wrote so brave a hand. How strange it seems that all of the words, these were the words you chose. And you had a simple choice. You did not know that you should not write again if you had known. But then, it doesn't matter. And indeed, if you had known, there was so little time. You would have dropped your pen and come to me, and this page would be empty, and some phrase other than this would hold my wonder now. But since you could not know, and it befell that these are the last words that your fingers wrote, there is a dignity some might not see in this. I picked the first sweet pea today. Today? Was there an opening bud beside it you left until tomorrow? Oh, my love, the things that withered, and you came not back. That day you filled this circle of my arms that now is empty. Oh, my empty life. That day you picked the first sweet pea and brought it in to show me. I recall the terrible distinctiveness how the smell of your cool gardens drifted in with you. I knew you held it up for me to see, and blushed because I looked not at the flower, but at your face. And when behind my look you saw such unmistakable intent. You laughed and brushed your flower against my lips. You were the fairest thing God ever made, I think. And in your hands above my heart, to down extend into a fastening. And while your head was bent, I kissed your hair. I wonder if you knew. Somehow I cannot seem to see the dust in your bright hair. What is the need of heaven when earth can be so sweet? If only God had let us love and show the world the way. Strange cancelings must ink the eternal books when love crossed out will bring the answerings right. The first sweet tea. I wonder where it is. It seems to me I laid it down somewhere, and yet I am not sure. I am not sure. Even if it was white or pink, for them, just much like any other flower to me, save that it was the first. I did not know then that it was the last. If I had known, but then it does not matter. Strange how few, after all is said and done, the things that are of moment, few indeed. When I can make of 10 small words a rope to hang the world, I had you, and I have you now no more. There dangles. There's the little truth that can so long keep putting under that when it's slack syllables tightened to a thought. Here, let me write it down. I want to see just what a thing like that will look on paper. I had you, and I have you now no more. Oh, little words, how can you run so straight behind the page beneath the weight you bear, and how can you fall apart from such a thing that's bound together and hereafter aid in trivial expression? Oh, so hideously dignified. Oh, God, that tearing you apart would tear the thread I strung you on. Would God, oh God, my mind stretches asunder on this merciless rack of imagery. Oh, let me sleep a while. Would that I could sleep and find you back on that sweet summer afternoon. Summer? Is it summer still by the calendar? Oh, easily. Yeah, God could set back the world a little turn or two, correct its griefs, and bring its joys again. We were so wholly one. I had not thought that we could die apart. I had not thought that I could move, and you be stiff and still, that I could speak, and you be dumb. I think our heartstrings were like warp and woof in some firm fabric woven in and out, your golden filaments and fair design across my duller fiber, and today the shining strip is wrenched, the exquisite pattern is destroyed. Heart of your heart aches in my breast. It lies chills in the damp earth with you. I've been torn in two and suffer for the rest of me. What is my life to me? And what am I to life? A ship whose star is gutted out, a fear that is deep night, stark awake, perpetually awake to find itself perpetually strained against the taut strings of the quaint ear, waiting the air, some dark chord. Dark is all I find for metaphor. All ask for contrast, except for the contrast is down, and all opposed things flow together in a vast monotony where night and day and frost and thaw and death and life are synonymous. What now? What now to me are all the gathering birds and foolish flowers that clutter up the world? You are my song. Now, let this scorch scream. You are my flower. Now let the world grow weeds, for I shall not plant things above your grain. the common bomb of the conventional wall for its own womb, amid sensations rendered negative by your elimination, stands today certain unmixed elements of grief I sorrow, and I would not mark my truth with travesties of suffering or seek effigy its incorporeal bulk in little rod-faced images of woe. I cannot fire you back, and I desire no utterance of my immaterial voice. I cannot even turn my face this way or that and say, my face is turned to you. I would not where you are. I do not know if heaven holds you or earth transmutes you into earth again, but this I know. Not for 1 second space shall I salt my face with visioning such as credulous crowd so eagerly I behold, so conjured in the empty air. Let the world will, let drip its easy tears. My sorrow shall be done.